I'm Sheila Brummer with Siouxland Public Media News. Numerous roadways in the western parts of Nebraska and South Dakota are closed today as a winter storm brought blizzard conditions to the area. A blizzard warning remains in effect for both areas, with many spots getting at least a half foot of snow. Northeastern Siouxland experienced ice warnings this morning with numerous school delays. Planned Parenthood says Iowa has seen an increase of out-of-state patients seeking abortions following the Dobbs decision. Planned Parenthood reports its clinics in Iowa, Nebraska, and Minnesota have seen a 13% increase, with patients coming from out of state. Abortion remains legal in Iowa up to 20 weeks of pregnancy. That's following a Polk County District Court judge's decision this week, denying Governor Reynolds' request to revive an Iowa law that would ban abortion as early as 6 weeks. Reynolds says she plans to appeal the ruling to the Iowa Supreme Court. 6 Republican county parties have voted to censure U.S. Senator Joni Ernst for her vote in favor of the marriage equality legislation that was signed by President Joe Biden. The legislation was also supported by Republican U.S. Representatives Ashley Hinson and Marionette Miller Meeks. U.S. Senator Chuck Grassley and Representative Randy Feenstra voted against it. The top Democrat in the Iowa House of Representatives says House Democrats will continue to pursue 4 key priorities. House Minority Leader Jennifer Confer says lowering costs for Iowans, investing in public schools, fighting attempts to restrict abortion, and legalizing marijuana are top priorities for the next legislative session.
I think that under the lowering costs for Iowans one, we really need to highlight the importance of addressing childcare in the state and addressing affordable housing. Those are both things that don't get a lot of attention, especially housing.
Confer says House Democrats chose these priorities based on what gets broad support in polling. But Democrats still lost seats in the November election. They used to hold 40 of the 100 House seats, but they'll have 36 seats in the next legislative session. Confer says she thinks Iowa Democrats need to make sure voters understand they're not the same as D.C. Democrats, and she wants to remind voters that they're fighting for issues they care about. Legislation co-sponsored by Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley that targets opioid overdoses with a focus on rural areas is headed to President Biden's desk after winning final congressional approval last week. Grassley, a Republican, says the bill is the result of bipartisan cooperation in both chambers to tackle a national problem. Counterfeit prescription pills laced with deadly fentanyl are contributing to historic drug overdose deaths in the U.S., Grassley says, including here in Iowa. Over 80% of the overdose deaths in the state last year were fentanyl related. A state report shows 470 lives were lost to drug overdoses in Iowa last year. And among Iowans age 25 and younger, overdose deaths have surged 120% in recent years. A report from the state auditor has found the Iowa Alcoholic Beverages Division wasn't reviewing payroll journals before forwarding timesheets to the agency that pays state employees. The payroll records were submitted to a manager, but according to the state's auditor's report, no one in the Alcoholic Beverages Division was reviewing the timesheets or signing off on them. The auditor's report suggests that could let employees' errors or dishonesty about their payroll journals slip through. The agency says it updated and changed its procedures. As you may recall, Iowa Auditor Rob Stans' Republican opponent Tom Halber was fired as the comptroller of the Iowa Alcoholic Beverages Division in 2018. This fall, a jury awarded Halber $1 million after he sued for wrongful termination and retaliation after he raised concerns about liquor charges. For Siouxland Public Media News, I'm Sheila Brummer.